Birgit Schwenk, hello, welcome. Thanks for coming to us today.
Thank you very much, Jennifer. I'm very happy to be here and very happy for this opportunity to introduce what we are going to do in the G7 environment, climate and energy track of the G7 presidency this year. As I've already mentioned, it's the environment, climate and energy track. We're doing a ministerial meeting on these issues together by the end of May. And we believe that they belong together very strongly because the energy sector is actually where many or most of the to-dos actually lie with respect to climate action. So if we want to achieve the 1.5 degree pathways, we have to act very, very quickly. So the 2020s will have to be the decade of action, otherwise we will miss that pathway and we can't afford to do that. The good news is that the IPCC has told us it is still possible to keep within the 1.5 degrees, so action is more important than ever. So what are we going to do in the G7? The G7, as the industrialized countries that have to show leadership, have a special responsibility here, I think, to follow up on what our predecessors in the G7 presidency, the United Kingdom, have achieved, both in their G7 presidency and at the COP26. So showing leadership for 1.5 degrees means that we have to stay true to the Paris Agreement and to the Glasgow Climate Pact. And what will be crucial this year, I think, is to give credibility to our targets. We want to reach those targets and will make this a decade of action. So, what are concrete measures that we want to take under the G7 presidency? Industrial decarbonization will be a very important issue for us. So, as Oliver Rentschler has just mentioned, green hydrogen as the shooting star of this year's BETD, you will be happy to hear that we are actually proposing a hydrogen action pact as part of the industrial development, industrial decarbonization agenda. Sorry, Jennifer, for this one. This is where we want to make progress. We will also have sectoral policies at the forefront, which I think is relatively new in that area. So we are going to speak about transportation as well and about the building sector. Coming back to our energy sector, that is the main subject here of the BETD, I think coal phase-out is actually on the top of our minds at the moment, and the current crisis, the invasion of Russia to Ukraine, has shown to all of us how important it is to become more independent from fossil fuels, from coal and eventually from gas. So we have to accelerate the energy transition rather than give up on our climate action targets. So while at the moment the demand for, or well, let's say the importance of securing our energy supply, our energy security is at the forefront, is at foremost on everybody's mind. We believe, and this is something that the G7 concurred on strongly, we believe that climate action and the energy transition, in the end of the day, will be what will save us from dependence, which will actually be the solution to energy security as well. So we are keeping to our agenda. We're not only keeping to our agenda, but we accelerate the energy transition as a reaction to the current invasion in Ukraine. So, what else? Of course, we're not only looking at the G7. We have to show leadership, but we have to also look at how we can partner up with our partners in the developing world. And in this area, we are planning to work on and expand on our partnerships. Just transition partnerships, just energy transition partnerships are one area which we will focus on. There has been a model with the Just Energy Transition Partnership last year with South Africa, so we're looking at expanding this model to other countries. Our Chancellor, Olaf Scholz, he has also suggested to establish a climate club, which is something that we're working on with our G7 partners. And finally, we have to show solidarity, and we want to show solidarity with developing countries also in reaching the $100 billion climate finance goal. So these are some of the issues that we want to tackle, that we want to work on in our G7 presidency.
Thank you so much, Birgit Schwenk. You know, the theme of this year's BETD is from ambition to action. It sounds like Germany has lots of ambition for the G7, and I can't wait to see all the action that Germany's about to take. Thank you both to both of my guests so much. Oliver Rentschler and Birgit Schwenk joining us here today on day 2 of the 2022 BETD.